Welcome back. We have just finished talking to Madeleine Buffane, whom I'm sure we'll be seeing more of in this game. I'm sure Gabriel wants to see more of her in this game, as it appears that he thinks she's attractive.
Don't mind if I do.
Doesn't look like we can talk to her anymore. We can look at her, sort of, I guess, maybe. Hey, are you following us?
Guess he's getting some fresh air. So much for that idea.
If he's trying not to act suspicious, he's failing at it quite hard.
Le Hotel.
That it is. This game is actually a lot like the Laura Bow games in some ways, I would say. Because there are a lot of things that you can do that are not strictly necessary to finish it, but that will give you a better understanding of the motivations of various characters, and will also give you more points, of course. Things like overhearing certain conversations or noticing people in certain places, and chickens.
Must not be a lot of cats around here. Ooh, reminds me of the present the voodoo group left me. Yuck.
Okay, yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. L'Hôtel de Rennes-le-Château. Okay. That's quite a simple name. Apparently it is the only hotel in town, otherwise it probably wouldn't be called that.
Le Hotel de Rennes-le-Château.
Okay, my French is terrible, but I definitely pronounced that better than him. And it is complet. No vacancies.
Looks like they're booked up.
Looks like they are. Alright. Well, there's more to this town. Let's see if we can look around and find some interesting stuff. Maybe see more of the tour group. There are still several people we have not yet seen. Let's start here. What's this? It's closed, whatever it is.
Oh, looks like they're closed.
Fermé pour réparation, which means closed for repairs.
I think it's a bookstore.
And I guess Gabriel would know. Makes me wonder how the St. George's book is doing, if both Grace and Gabriel were away from it. Who is watching the store?
I think it's a bookstore.
Atelier Empreinte Librairie. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a bookstore too.
I think it's a bookstore. Gee, that book looks interesting. Too bad the store is closed. Gee, that book looks...
Okay. Apparently they have a big thing about Secrets of the Holy Grail thing. They have it in French and in English.
Secrets of the Holy Grail. I wonder if that book's got something to do with this area. Unfortunately, the store is closed.
Maybe they're big Monty Python fans.
San Grial. Holy Grail.
San Grial. Wasn't that what the two men on the train said?
Why would they be talking about the Holy Grail? And what does the Grail have to do with Rennes-le-Château?
These are all very good questions, and I'm sure we'll find some answers at some point. And again, the connection between Holy Grail and Rennes-le-Château is historical fact. Well, it's more of a myth, I guess. But it's not something the writers made up, I mean. It is sort of supposed to be here. Or it's at least connected to the area. Although, of course, nobody knows what it is or has found it.
That looks like a private home. I could check every house in the area, but they'd probably get a little pissed.
Well, that saves me a lot of work. And there's a fountain. Which I apparently cannot look at. What's over here?
Not sure what it says, but if it has to do with bikes, I'm there.
Cyclomoteur à louer, which means bikes for rent. My French may be bad, but these kinds of simple things I do know. I went to France on holiday very often. Just don't ask me to string together a sentence. And that looks more like a moped than a bike anyway, but let's see if we can get a bike. Gabriel does ride bikes, after all. But I guess he left his own bike in New Orleans. And, well, it's a bike shop. What did you expect?
Oh, check out that Harley. Wow, I'd love to drive that baby.
Looks like quite an old model. I'm not an expert, but they have shovels.
Oh, check out that.
But we can't look at them.
Looks like they're open from 2 to 5.
Looks like they are. Ouvert. From 2 to 5.
I'll have to come back later.
I guess that means that during this time block, which only lasts until noon, if you remember, it says so up here, we will not be able to go anywhere, at least not on bike. We'll have to do it on foot, or maybe we can catch a bus.
Looks like an accident waiting to happen. Kinda like my life.
Okay.
Somebody lives there. Probably someone with a penchant for rusty barrels.
Probably. And more bikes.
I need to rent a bike. FED 039A.
And apparently you can read all of the number plates, which I'm not going to do because it's pointless. But they must be important somehow. And it looks like all of the bikes have a shovel. Wonder where that is. What the hell is this thing?
What a pathetic excuse for a bike.
It's not even in one piece at the moment. Can we knock on the door? See if maybe they can open early for us?
Hey, anybody in there?
Guess not.
Oh well, worth a try. Well, I guess we'll restrict ourselves to the town limits for the time being. Which seem to end there. Maybe we can walk.
That's the way out of town. I wouldn't get far on foot.
Or maybe not. Let's see, there's an invisible wall here. So let's walk further this way. I guess they just needed a loading screen. What's this? A house, obviously, but
I can't see a thing through those.
looking at the windows. Villa Bethania.
Villa Bethania. Personal residence constructed by Saunier. Whoever that is.
Kind of a famous person in this town. Construire à la Abbé Bérenger Saunier et sa résidence jusqu'à son mort. Okay, so he lived here until he died. I'm not going to try and pronounce the number in French. I think I probably can, but problem is that whenever I try to think of French words nowadays, I only come up with Japanese. Propriété privée.
It says keep out, more or less.
Well, it says private property, do not enter. Let's do it anyway.
The sign says do not enter. I'd at least need a reason to ignore it.
This is also a real building in this town.
I think those windows showed the Sacred Heart of Jesus. You gotta hand it to us Catholics, babe. We really know our anatomy.
Okay. Sure. Why is it on fire? And according to the sign, this goes to Tour Magdala.
It says Tour Magdala.
The Tower of Mary Magdalene, which is another real landmark from Rennes-le-Château. And it does sort of kind of look like this. Close enough, we'll say. Entree. Well, that's pretty clear, I guess. So let's do that. Let's entree with an R at the end, because then it's a verb. Charming.
The books are all old and French.
Well, guess we're not gonna read them then.
Seats at the window, hence the name Window Seats. Windows. Hey, I bet those come in handy.
They allow you to see outside and stuff.
Curtains in matching fabric. How suave.
Can we actually use the seats?
Not right now, thanks.
No, I don't think you can actually use any seat anywhere in the game ever. They all have the option. Let's go up. I'm sure we'll have a nice view. And we do have quite a nice view of the town and the surrounding area, in somewhat blurry, but still.
There's a mountain over there. Not surprising since we're close to the Pyrenees.
Wow, I'm surprised your geography is even that good. What's this thing?
It's just a decorative post, I guess.
Okay. I don't know if that's really here, because nobody in the game seems to know what it is. Anything else in the area that we can look at? Other than the mountain? No, apparently not. Well, there's no one here either, so I guess we'll just go back downstairs. Nothing else around here, so let's go back the way we came. I think the layout of the town is not entirely historically accurate, or even presently accurate. But hey, at least they made an effort to have some real places in here. Le Musée de Souvenirs. Okay. Where the hell you're going?
Don't ask me to pronounce that.
Okay. It is the museum that the hotel receptionist told us about. Might be interesting. And this seems to say when it's open.
They're open all day.
Well, they're actually open from 7 to 5 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and from 12 to 5 on Tuesday and Thursday. But that's close enough to all day, I guess. Well, let's try and go inside. I'm kind of messing this up. No real reason to go that close to the door anyway. Well, let's see what interesting facts we can learn about this place. Museums, a staple of Gabriel Knight games. Oh, there's lost items.
Lost items. Wonder if my life is in there. God.
Sure. Objet trouvé. It actually says found items. And there is something in there.
Somebody lost a hat. It's not really my style. Looks more like something Mosley would wear.
Maybe it's his hat. I don't know. Maybe he's already been in the museum.
It looks like a lost and found box.
That's because that's what it is.
Hey, they actually have souvenirs for sale. I'm sure Gracie will be all over it if and when she gets here.
Postcards.
I'm not sure what those paintings have to do with this area. Not that it really matters, I guess.
You don't know that. Maybe it does. So we have postcards of paintings. These just look at the town.
Pictures of the town and stuff.
And the surrounding area.
I'm not sure what those paintings
No.
have to do.
Those don't look like paintings.
Pictures of the town and stuff.
And stuff. Especially the stuff is important. And apparently they're 10 francs. This was before the introduction of the euro.
Hey, they actually...
Let's see. Well, there's somebody here from the museum. I'm sure they'll have plenty of information.
I'm assuming she works here.
I think that's a safe assumption.
Ah, how are you? You run this place?
Ah oui, yes.
Nice to meet you. The name's Knight.
Very well.
And you are?
Madame Girard, is there something I can help you with?
There might be.
Her voice reminds me of Madame Cazanou. I'm not sure if it's the same voice actress. Might be. Who knows? So there's a number of things we can ask about. The baby that we're tracking, the Holy Grail, the town, and the two men with a trunk.
Have you heard a baby crying in the past 24 hours?
I have 3 grandchildren. What do you think?
That's not what we meant.
Say, does the Holy Grail have something to do with this area?
Perhaps.
Uh-huh. And what would the connection be exactly?
Some believe the Templars found sacred Christian treasure in the Holy Land. When they were persecuted, they would have hidden it, n'est-ce pas? It really is not that difficult a leap, monsieur.
Sacred Christian treasure, like the Holy Grail?
Possibly. The most famous Grail story, written by Wolfenbach, was set in Languedoc. Did you know that, monsieur? No, of course you did not.
What's that supposed to mean?
Is there anything special I should know about the town?
The displays will tell you the history of Rennes-le-Château.
Okay, we'll look at those as soon as we're finished talking.
You mentioned Templars, as in the Knights Templars? Were they really from this?
If you wish to know about the Templars, read the history board.
You're not a very helpful curator, are you?
There's supposed to be some kind of treasure buried around here, right?
Yes, that is the theory.
Well, what kind of treasure is it?
That is part of the mystery, monsieur.
Okay, so what are some of the possible treasures?
Gold stores of the Romans, the fabulous wealth of the Visigoths, which was never found, the fabulous wealth of the Merovingians, which was never found, or it could be the fabulous wealth of the Cathars, which...
Yeah, I gotcha. The Templars too, right?
But of course, they had more fabulous wealth than anyone. Why do you think that French pig dog of a king turned on them?
Aren't you French in this region?
Well, France thinks so.
She does not, it seems.
Any other theories on the possible treasure?
Well, the Romans did destroy the Temple of Jerusalem, stole sacred Hebrew artifacts. Perhaps it is the lost treasure of Jerusalem that is buried around here. And then there is this one theory.
Yes?
Never mind. I am a good Catholic woman myself. Why don't you read up on the subject if you are so very interested?
Okay, I guess we'll do that at some point.
Say, were you around last night?
I was at home, monsieur.
Oh, you didn't happen to see anyone coming into town, did you? Late? Around 11?
I am well asleep by then. The early bird catches the worm, you know.
Yeah, and what an incentive that is, too.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I guess we'll have to look at the displays in the museum to learn more about this town. But we'll have to look at them in the next video.